Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mill City Roast-Alongs. It's been a hot minute, but we're back at it. Bigger, badder, fresher, and with always more coffee. Because that's what we do, right? Today we're roasting a natural Ethiopian coffee from the Chelchele washing station in the Yirgacheffe region. I don't know about you, but natural Ethiopia stand out in my mind from personal experience as like that gateway coffee to like the rest of the coffee industry. I was just amazed that anything could taste like Welch's fruit juice or just like this bombastic, jammy kind of like fruit in a cup. I was like, what is this? What is this coffee? This can't be coffee. Guess what it is. I think that's what's so wild about processing methods and what it can do to the coffee. Cool. Well, today we're going to be roasting on the digital 2 kilo roaster. We're going to be doing 1,000 gram charge, so doing about half capacity of this machine. We're going to be doing a 1 minute and 10 second soak, a charge temperature of 425 degrees, with initial fuel being 1600, about 58 rotations per minute on the drum speed, and then moving through on our low, medium to high gas transitions. We even got a super fun new method of video recording where we're actually sharing our profile live in real time. Very exciting, fun stuff. It's been a journey to get it up and running, but I'm excited to kind of play around with it a little bit more and yeah, see how it goes for future videos. So right now my gas is just idling with 400 pascals, so 0.4 kPa. This machine's been on for a while, so I wanted it to kind of, cool down a little bit so we didn't have so much heat soaked up. So I'm going to go ahead and increase my gas pressure now to 1600 for initial fuel, so that when I do get into the roast, turn the ignition on, I'm kind of set in where I need to be. Perfect. 1600. Set. Good. And off on the ignition. So we'll get ready to get into the roast and charge. We'll switch over to our profile here using Roast Path Live. Making it easy there. We can see our gas and fan and drum speed settings all in real time. Very fun stuff. And all right, good deal. So we're about to come up and down in temperature. One more time here. We've hit 425. And wait for the temperature to start coming down before we charge here. All right, we've hit 425, our ignition's turned off. I'm gonna go ahead and charge, and we're sitting at 425. Make sure our ignition doesn't come back on by turning that off there. And 1 minute and 10 seconds for soak. Cool. On the road again. All right. So general practice with naturals, with honeys, with decaf, really any sort of special processing, you're going to try and be just a little bit more gentle or give a little bit more time in the roast itself in certain phases. The idea is that all those sugars that are dried outside of the seed, if you apply too much heat or you're too aggressive with it, you're just kind of like roasting off like what was special and just kind of frying out those flavors, maybe in like a very poor way of describing that. But if you just give it a little bit more time, be a little bit more gentle, you can really round out that fruitiness, make it big and juicy. Ignition button, just turn that on. So we're going to see our gas come back on in a second. And keep what makes those processes just a little bit more special intact. So gas is ramping up to that 1600 is our initial fuel. Beautiful. first major adjustment that we're going to be doing is airflow. So it'll be about a minute to a minute and a half prior to that dry end, where we're going to start increasing. I always kind of like to look at it as, you know, every action we make in roasting has that reaction later on. Bigger machines, that's going to be a little bit more drastic. You know, you increase airflow or you decrease gas and you see that kind of like affect your profile overall, kind of 30 seconds down the road. Smaller machines, you know, on a 500 gram roaster, a little 350 gram roaster, something very small, you're going to see more instantaneous reactions, where you're like, oh, I decrease gas, 10 seconds later, I start to see it affect my change in my profile. So that's kind of the way I look at airflow. I like to kind of get ahead of like what's going to happen, let things settle in, and then just kind of keep rolling. All right. So we're coming up on airflow adjustment here. Perfect. Now, while we were profiling this coffee, we did two side by side. One profile was to 403 degrees as a finish temp. One was to 401 degrees in a finish temp. 403 degrees, that profile was 9 minutes. 401 degrees, that profile was in 9.5 minutes. That 9.5 minute profile really rounded out the cup, made it clean, made it really juicy, gave some just like very fresh, like nice fruity elements to that coffee. That 9 minute profile, the 403, was a very just kind of, I mean, bombastic is an understatement. It's kind of like coming out of a dark cave and seeing the sunlight hit your eyes and just like, whoa, like just neon in your face. Like, yeah, it was kind of like it was an aggressive wake up of a coffee. Decreasing gas now from 1600 to 1000. A big jump, so I can mellow out in the mid phase and stretch that out a bit. And we ended up going with more of that cleaner profile, something that we all love in our naturals. A little bit of hay yet in that trier pull. There we go. That one's a little bit more maltier and bready for that green to yellow dry end transition. And yeah, it was just wild. Steve came to the table and was just like, what is this? Like, it's like a supernatural. So if we're able to get a little bit roasted of kind of both profiles and have them together, maybe we'll get a tasting video up after the fact that we are roasting this for the web. Very exciting. This coffee came out to 60 for bean color, using we got a Lightel CM200, using the Eggtron Gourmet color scale. 60 kind of puts it in more of that medium roast kind of color territory. But once we grind it, that color ends up being 74. So a little bit more towards the side of a light roast. Now the things with naturals and honeys and decafs is that bean tends to look a lot darker than it actually is. You're roasting, you're like, whoa, I'm going way too dark, like way too fast, or like, I'm afraid I'm gonna, move out of this light roast into a medium roast flavor, decreasing gas by 400 pascals. In a medium roast flavor, like a little bit, or like starting to get too roasty, like beyond the medium roast. But yeah, naturals just like to take on color a little bit differently. So it's not too like, crazy that it's like, whoa, like 60 on the Eggtron Gourmet, it's like maybe that's like too dark just looking at color. But we have to attach cupping in tasting and sensory analysis to those numbers to really figure out like, well, we have our color reading about what this like light, medium, dark metric is, but now we need to taste it and we need to attach other metrics to this coffee. Like I said, this coffee, at the profile that we're sharing with all of you, fruity, jammy, just kind of like round and clean. Very, very nice, classic, natural Ethiopian coffee that's going to be a crowd pleaser for many. All right, coming up to final airflow adjustment. And also decreasing our gas. We don't want to get into development and find that we're just increasing in speed like way too quick in the roast here. We want to bring it under control a little bit and slow things down. By the time we get out of this profile, we'll have a little bit of a longer mid phase and kind of a mid to lower 30% development in that like 18 to 20% kind of area. We're getting our outliers, and there's our rolling pop that just happened here. Starting to get a nutty, kind of fruity popsicle, kind of like light, kind of like essence of like fruit. Rolling crack now. And also hints of kind of like a nice dark chocolate going on. There's that burst of fruit coming out. Really booming. A little licoricey. Kind of like ripe raspberry. Kind of nice. There we are. All right, we're gonna let this just kind of continue in development for a little bit longer, round out these flavor notes a bit. Nice, nice, nice. Now it's kind of like a malted shake chocolate. Little bit of jamminess kind of coming now. There we are. I'm going to call that. Cool. Good job, gang. We did it. You did it. If you're roasting this at home, you did it. Cool. Good deal. Looking good, lines. Looking good. But remember, you gotta taste it. Now go drink that coffee and see how it tastes. Once you're roasting it, of course. I can't share with you what I have here, but whatever you just roasted, you can drink it. Like I said, we just got this up on the web. Chelchele washing station, Yirgacheffe Region. Very classic natural. We got a bunch of coffees coming up right now. We just got another washed Colombia online. We also have a washed Tanzania, a natural Burundi, a new decaf coming. And all of them, we got those profiles sitting down there that you can, go take a peek at and hopefully get some use out of by, trying to dial in on your systems. Remember, these are just numbers specific to, our roasters, our thermocouples. What I would strongly encourage for all of you is just take a look at kind of time spent in phases. If you know that, your first crack for a really great tasting coffee that you've been roasting is at, maybe it's at 9.5 minutes, maybe it's at 8:40 or 10:30. See how you can kind of shift those phases of the dry and the mid and development to help build the profile and get something that lines up with some of these tasting notes and what we've been finding in this coffee. like I said, we're going to see if we can't get a little cupping video, two side-by-sides of that really wild kind of like fast natural that was like neon in the face, with this more well-rounded kind of like classic balanced clean natural, so that we can have that comparison between like the supernatural for like those adventurous kind of like tart natural crazy flavors that folks are interested in, but also have something on the other end where it's like try roasting these side by side, see what works for you. Build your own adventure in roasting, right? Cool. Well, until then, happy roasting, stay humble, drink a lot of coffee, be nice to each other, and until next time, bye.